All right, so this has been Wasteland Express on Gamers Remorse. It's a pick up and deliver game. I mean, that's basically the core of it, right? There's a little bit of combat in there, but not a whole lot. It's all about action efficiency, in my opinion. Some people are going to love that, some people are going to hate it. It has such a good theme that I wonder if people are going to want it to be more aggressive than it is. Instead, it's very much a Euro under the covers. So, I liked it, but I thought that it was going to be more Ameritrash, I guess. Don't get me wrong, there's a lot of pieces, it's very fiddly and all that, but I don't know. Mm-hmm. What's your opinion?
Yeah, I'm torn. It's one of those games I want to really like it, but I think there's other games that give me the same feel that I enjoy more. One of the running jokes is I like train games. If I'm going to play a pick up and deliver game, I'd rather play a train pick up and deliver game. But that's just my preference as a player. I know other people that would prefer this. I'm very thematic. I'm not a big fan of the theme. I understand people who are. So it's one of those things where it's just, I think it's a good game, it just doesn't appeal to my interests, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. Regarding the train versus this, I actually prefer this over most train games. Most train games you get into like weird stock things.
Which is great.
And then like crayons.
Which is amazing.
So, counterpoint.
This needs more stocks and crayons.
Maybe. What do you think, Eric?
I think I'm kind of in the same boat as Brian here. It's a game that I actually knew nothing about coming into this. All I knew was the title, didn't really know the theme or anything. I didn't really pay a lot of attention to the hotness or anything about it. Theme, I mean, Mad Max is great and all, but I mean, it doesn't have Tom Hardy, so I don't care. So,
you can make a custom Tom Hardy character.
Fair enough. I mean, they did make Burt Reynolds.
Pandasaurus, more Tom Hardys in your next games.
Yes.
Yes.
And trains.
Maybe like a centerfold, just like, him with... No?
I mean, I'd buy it.
How about Wasteland train game with Tom Hardy as the conductor?
Terrible. Terrible. Anyway, mechanically speaking, what did you guys like? What didn't you like?
Yeah, I liked the movement mechanic with the way the different hexes have different open ends and whatnot. I thought that was clever. I liked the way that you built momentum as you traveled.
Sure.
I thought that was fun. It's something I think more train games could learn from. But I think there's some fiddly aspects.
Sure.
The dice rolling was very luck-based.
That's Ameritrash game.
Almost too much. So like, I love me some Ameritrash, but usually I feel I can mitigate the dice more than I felt I could, and that's just bad luck on my part, right? Like, it's not my fault that I rolled 3 dice and rolled 3 blanks.
So this game was Jon Gilmour is one of the people that developed it.
Matt Riddle.
Dead of Winter.
Yeah.
You can't really mitigate much of the dice rolling in that, and so this is the exact same thing. There is a luck every time you do something. But anyway.
Yeah, and that's the thing I like with a lot of Ameritrash, there's more luck mitigation. And that's one of the issues I have with some of those games.
Sure.
So, that was my one complaint, was I am very unlucky, apparently. So.
One of the things that I liked about this game that we didn't really experiment with was the moving of the trucks. You could purposely choose some of these locations to kind of, hose your neighbor, essentially. And we didn't really do that ever.
Well, right, but I think that's also a point where we were always ending in a location to avoid that, so there was no point in doing that.
That's a good point.
Yeah, I tried to never land on a hex because I didn't want people to be able to do that too.
We were all playing pretty defensively. That's a good point.
So, I mean, I mean, it's there, but like, what... With our playing, it was just kind of like, what's the point of trying to move it at this...
I would have liked to be able to combat each other. So like, if Sean was at the depot, I wish I could go to the depot and try to steal his resources. I would use that more than the other vehicles.
There should be a catch-up mechanic, which didn't really exist in this game.
No.
Because I kind of ran away with it, I felt like.
And there's nothing we could do
Yeah, to slow me down. The only thing you had was moving these guys around, and like
but you
said,
like
I was
you were never off
usually-
a hex.
Yeah,
So.
Yeah.
And they're not hexes; they're octagons.
yeah. But yeah, there's also a lot of luck in drawing the cards,
Yeah.
so you could start off with an amazing ability. Last time we played, I had an amazing one that got
Yeah.
me all of this swag, and then I used that to wreck face.
Yeah.
This time I didn't so much, but I started off with a first class.
Well, right.
Thing. You did as
yeah,
well.
I
Yeah.
did that in like what in the second round essentially.
Yeah, yeah.
it
So
was
you
just
were
like
1/3 complete.
yeah, but
Yeah.
then I stalled so much because of lack of money and
Sure.
everything else like damage and everything. So
This guy helped me get money early on, so I was never short on that. And then I just went around and
Yeah.
sort of did a clean sweep after I built my guns.
And like I had triple loaded my truck. I'm like, all right, I'm ready to make money. The next event comes up, everything's worth $2.
Yeah.
Well, I don't want to sell anything at that cheap of a price.
Mm-hmm.
I can't pick anything up unless I sell things. I don't have any money
Mm-hmm.
because I've been buying things to sell. So I pretty much, like, I lost 5 actions, kind of a thing.
That could have partially been mitigated, right? I mean, unfortunately, the event round
Yeah.
thing really messed you
And
up.
that's pure luck.
Yeah.
So
But you could have maybe like bought stuff ahead of time, or maybe used your funds to not buy goods. I don't know.
yeah,
It's tough
just
to
you're
say.
not knowing what's happening.
Yeah.
You can't play it.
Yeah.
And that was the round before we played multiple games. That was not this last game we played. That was a previous game.
Yeah.
That hit me. This game I just never had goods until now.
I really like the mechanics. I like the action efficiency, the action point economy. I really enjoyed that. But I like pick up and deliver games that aren't train based, which is very few of those.
Why do those exist? What's the purpose of picking up and delivering without a train?
In a
I
wasteland.
I know.
But anyway, so any other thoughts? We haven't really talked about the graphics at all, but just keep it short. Maybe we do that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, and one of the things you mentioned, they got a fairly fancy artist to do the graphics, and I'm sure there are people who love it. And I mentioned, it probably wasn't cheap. I'm guessing there are people who see the graphics and they're like, I want this game based on that. Graphics are all eye of the beholder, to be honest, right?
Sure.
And it's just not an art style I typically enjoy. So I can appreciate it as a designer. I can appreciate it for what it is. And I can say these are amazing graphics. They're just not graphics I would have chosen, if that makes sense.
sure. I mean, it's all comic book based, right? And so I can appreciate that. I've read enough graphic novels, and I'm like, oh, okay, that's interesting. It's kind of a gritty sort of look to it, Wasteland, that kind of makes sense. Some of the thing that I don't think that artist created, though, don't really make sense to me. So we were
Like
kind of
the
laughing at
paperclip?
these. Yeah, the paperclip on the trailer. I don't know if you can see that. You probably can't. There you go. Side view. So you're paper clipping a trailer to the back of your screen to show that you have more room. Like, I'm not sure I understand that.
No.
And let's see, there was that. There's the arrows when you're doing your action point economy thing. That was kind of confusing because the bonus isn't attached, but should it be? But it's underneath the other things that are attached to your movement. I really like the movement mechanic. I know I'm hopping back to that, but
Yeah, I did like that mechanic.
and I also like the minis. They are very well done. I was painting those last night, and they were, I don't know, they're just really heavy duty, and they're really detailed. So I liked those. Also, one thing that you guys haven't seen yet, these were made by Game Trays, that company out of St. Louis. I think we saw them at Geekway 3 years ago or whatever. Comes with each version of the game. So it's
Nice.
like legit good storage. Which doesn't happen in enough games. So good on you, Pandasaurus Games, for that. Love that part about it. So, I don't know. Overall, would you guys play this again?
I don't think I'd bring it to our group necessarily in Cedar Falls. I don't think there'd be that much of a want for it. I mean, I think maybe Fake Sean might want to, but at the same time, I know there are other games that he would much rather play.
Yeah. And that's where if I showed up at a game night and someone had this set up and said, do you want to play? Yes. I would gladly play. I would enjoy that playing. But if someone showed up at my house and like, hey, let's play a pick up and deliver game, before I took this off the shelf, I'd probably grab Steam, Empire Express, or a similar game in that way.
A train game.
Yes.
Gotcha.
But I would play this if it was presented to me.
Sure.
Gladly.
Well, All right, that's all from Gamers Remorse. Thanks for checking it out. Thanks, guys. Bye.
I think this might be one of the first games that we have a split on how we enjoyed it. Because I think you probably enjoyed it a lot more than we did.
I mean, I didn't love it, but I get the feeling you guys hated it.
Yeah, I think my issue with this game is it was straddling these lines very awkwardly.
What lines?
Like Amera, Euro,